Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. My name is Tariq Abbas. I am Associate Professor of Veterinary Epidemiology and Public Health at Cholistan University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Bahawalpur, Pakistan. And the purpose of my presentation is to give an overview what is bibliometric analysis, and it is actually a publication idea for researchers, and the title of my presentation is Bibliometric Analysis of Geospatial Application in Veterinary Epidemiology for this time period which is mentioned. So let's start first with the term who already don't know what is bibliometric analysis. So bibliometric analysis is actually the analysis of bibliometric data. So it is a computer assisted review methodology which is objective, reproducible and based on statistical and mathematical technique, and it is indicated to provide a broad overview of big picture or a big picture of the research landscape in any field. For my case, it is its application in veterinary epidemiology. This technique has already been applied in linguistics and many other fields, but its number of publications in veterinary are relatively low, and this is the idea or the theme behind it is to introduce my co-partners and my colleagues what is this technique is about, and it is flexible and one thing that I want to make it clear right now here, that how it is different from a systematic review. In systematic review, the researcher have a very focused, precise question what they want to answer, and but in the indication of the bibliometric analysis is that when you have a broad field, your research question is very broad. For example, my research question is how it was used in veterinary epidemiology. So it's a broad field when we talk about geospatial analysis and veterinary epidemiology. So unlike the systematic review, it is relatively indicated when our research question or topic or discipline is very broad, and we have so many publications and we want to get an overview. So this technique is useful when systematic reviews may be biased for various reasons. For example, it is a problem of many developing countries, like the studies they are published, but they may have different sources of bias and they are not mentioned in the study. So so the most realistic analysis that can be made in that situation would be the bibliometric analysis. For example, in my study, I used the titles of the publication, because to me, if I look into the situation in many developing countries, the title of the research article or an article is something which is most realistic, and in which I would say that a lot of brainstorming, revisions, and it is purified further by suggestions from the editors and the reviewers of the journal, whatever it is. So so I would say, if I do systematic review but the input studies they were biased, then the results of my systematic review will not be good one. So in this situation, I would prefer the use of bibliometric analysis to provide a big picture, so that if someone wants to, some new researcher come into a field, he or she should have a ready-made information on various aspects of the research. So this is my problem statement. Like in veterinary epidemiology, during the last decade or 2 decades, there has been increase in the use of geospatial technology, GIS, remote sensing, GPS system, web GIS, and so on. And there is a rapid increase in the number of publications, and we have so many publications which are difficult to comprehend. So despite its application in veterinary epidemiology, there is no comprehensive review which can tell us that in which institutions it was used, or for which diseases it was used, for which type of pathogens it was used. So this is the problem statement what I want to address in my study, which is still not concrete, a comprehensive, I mean it's at the initial stage, but it is not complete. So these are my preliminary finding, I would say. So objective of my study is to analyze the keywords from the bibliometric data to address the question, what has been the focus and the trend of research regarding geospatial applications in veterinary epidemiology for the last decade. So when I talk about the keywords, in the world of science we have keyword plus, but I don't have access to the world of science. And even I tried to use the author-assigned keywords. So I don't prefer them, and that is I would my choice. Like I think the author-assigned keywords, although they have already been investigated, but to me it makes more sense to extract the keyword directly from the titles and then use them for a bibliometric analysis, and this is what I have studied. So I have extracted the keywords from the titles of the research items or articles I had, and then analyzed those keywords with bibliometric analysis. By focusing on keyword analysis, my study aims to delineate what has been main themes, what have been the trend topics in this particular domain. The findings of such type study are expected to enhance our understanding of the key research areas and reveal the emerging trends and support the future research. So for example, I would say after COVID pandemic, and with the introduction of the artificial intelligence, with the use application in the veterinary epidemiology, there are many avenues which remain unexplored. So I wanted to know shortly that if I am a veterinary epidemiologist and I want to know, I'm interested to know where the geospatial technologies, how it has been applied, then so this is my theme. So in the material and methods, I have preferred PubMed because it has free API access, and it accommodates or index the reputable journals, which so I have not used the Google Scholar because nowadays many of us we know that there are many fake journals which get indexed by the different platforms, and my choice behind the PubMed were two options. It is free, it indexes the reputable journal, and for such type of study the user or the researcher should know how to run an advanced query in the PubMed, how to build and run it. So the search in this study I mainly focused on original research articles, and I excluded, for example, the already published systematic reviews or the journal reviews or narrative reviews, and I only focused on original research. And this is, I think, a unique feature, an interesting feature of bibliometric analysis, that the researcher have the control that what type of publications I can include or exclude. So this is my advanced PubMed query that I used in my study, and I excluded the reviews because I was more interested in the primary research. And for bibliometric analysis, one has to clean the data. It is possible with the software which is known as Open Refine. The clean data, and I used it in R. When we download the data from the PubMed, it has many fields and variables, but all were not of my interest. Therefore, in Open Refine, I kept only those variables which were required by myself. The data set was further processed to refine the bigrams, synonyms. So bigrams, this is might be a new term for many like who don't have the background in the language or text analysis. So bigrams are two consecutive words. Bi means two, grams mean the words. There can be trigrams, or it can be something else, and so in bibliometric analysis we can control the synonyms. For example, the synonym for different diseases, the pathogens, species, areas. We can keep certain terms, we can remove certain terms, and we can define the keywords as well. The analysis was performed using a package in R which is known as Bibliometric package. There are many other software, but this Bibliometrics package is open source, and it is quite flexible, and further improving, and we can customize many things who have background knowledge of the R programming. So in this study I included the plots which can be which I will show you in the next slide. For example, I made the publication by year, publication by country, a word cloud, the trending topics, the thematic map or the strategic diagram, the conceptual structures or the conceptual maps, and then a network of co-occurrence plot. So these plots and how to interpret them is also very interesting for those who want to publish it. And one thing more, like bibliometric analysis, it costs nothing, it only needs your effort, and it is a quick method of publication. And although there are certain standards we have to look for, like for when we want to publish the systematic reviews, there are standards. So now the standards for bibliometric analysis reporting are also there, and the readers, they are the audience is advised that those standards should be strictly complied if you want to publish it in a good journal. Then we comes toward our results. So this is my first result. On x-axis you can see the years, on y-axis you can see the number of the articles, and one can see that there has been increase in the application of the geospatial technology, and it is hopefully it's increasing further due to artificial intelligence and other technologies that are coming into the field. And during the COVID pandemic, it was very general that because of the situation, we can see the peaks during the COVID season. Maybe it's common for all other fields, and similar finding is one for geospatial analysis. The next plot, it shows the map of the world, and we can see that what has been the number of publication for each country. So we can see that Pakistan, for example, almost zero publication. Many other African countries, they don't know about this field. So we can see that many countries, the applications or the innovations in geospatial applications in veterinary epidemiology, they have not been investigated. Maybe such technologies, they need high quality of data that may not be available for many developing countries. And yes, so the next result is word cloud. So this is quite easy to understand, and in this word cloud I have you can see that the bigger is the font, it means the more the frequency of certain word. We can see that if we talk about the geospatial technology and its application in veterinary epidemiology, so researchers, they have mainly focused on African swine fever. Then on avian influenza, we can see different pathogens here, different terms. So we can see that what has been studied more frequently. So so this is, I would say, the advantage of bibliometric analysis, that one can see that in a particular field, that what has been the most famous. So this is also clear in this plot. Then we can see another interesting plot. This is about the trend topics. On x-axis we can see the years, and on the y-axis we can see the different terms. So how to interpret this? So you can see the term frequency, there are 3 levels in it: 20, 40, then 60. If I look into the, for example, the African swine fever, wild boar, for example, so this bubble and then these whisklers around it, they tell us, like, I will interpret this like wild boar had appeared 20 times from year maybe from 2016 to 22. So the bubble size, it indicates the frequency, and the whisklers, they show that for how the the years it has been a famous topic. So if we go further, we can see that if the terms that we extracted from the titles of the articles, they are very much linked. They are forming clusters, and these nodes, these are actually this is actually a network plot, and in this network all these dots, they are the terms, and the line which are connecting them, they indicates the connection between them. For example, risk factor and West Nile, these they are linked by a line. So these are two nodes, and thicker the line it is, it means that in the literature these two terms, they have been frequently coming together. And even some words, they are some terms, they are the nodes, they are forming the clusters or the communities. They come, they are just like family, mean they are the connections between them, they are stronger to make them or consider them as a separate community of terms, are the nodes in if we talk about network analysis terminology. And this is also shown by different colors. So I can see that the terms that I included in my analysis, there are 4 communities, and yes, so in short I would say this is a network plot. Each dot is a node, and the connection between them, they are how frequently they have been studied together and therefore appeared simultaneously in the literature we have studied. So this is another plot. This is known as thematic map. On the x-axis there is the degree centrality. Very simply to say how famous are some keyword is in the research landscape. And then on the y-axis we can see the degree of development. So I can show you or explain you from the previous picture. So you can see this green. So this is for one cluster, red is another clusters. So if these clusters, they are also connected to other community, then it will be we will say that it has more degree centrality, means across the research landscape, the means actually in this network the communities, they are also connected. So one can see here, I would only explain just one quadrant or a term for your explanation because of limitation in the time. So we are getting actually in this plot the 4 quadrant. So this quadrant, the terms we can see, they have low centrality, means they are not connected with rest of the world, and they have also the low level of density, means they are not connected with other communities. If I look into here a certain term like Mycobacterium bovis, if it is studied with many other terms, it will go in basic theme and then it can move in toward the motor themes. If it has been studied and then it was not further investigated for some reason, it may come down and will explode with the passage of the time. So for example, in the motor themes, we are getting certain terms like avian influenza. It means that avian influenza, in the network of the keyword, it is connected with its community and with other communities as well. And if we talk about the PPR, This is still a basic theme. It means it has its centrality is more, means it is connected uh, with other communities of the words, but it is its development centrality means uh, uh, is low. So to recap everything, I would say like the degree centrality will be more if a particular term is connected with other themes, and if the green are all coherent, means they co-occur many times, their bonds are very strong, their relations are very strong, so that will be called the degree centrality that you can see here. So actually each node is forming a community, okay, and then there are links within the community and between the communities. So this is the base for this thematic map. So another important thing that I would want to mention is in bibliometric analysis, if we have the keywords, we can also use the conceptual structure, like this is a technique which is difficult to explain here because it needs certain background, but you can see that this is a two-dimensional plot, dimension 1 on x-axis, dimension 2 on y-axis. So if we can see different terms on this map, so if two terms they are closer to each other, they will co-occur more frequently, and if certain group of terms they occur even they have still strong bonds, and they co-occur, they have very strong links, then it will form the clusters. So in my study I could see 3 clusters of terms, and then we can see that the terms which are somehow in a cluster, they have more strong links with each other. So MDS is a multi-dimensional structure. It's a data reduction technique in which helps us to see the clusters of terms which occur together, and if two terms they are close on this map, it means they are close in the literature as well. So this is also I mean we can see on the dendrogram. Then comes the discussion and the limitations. So I would repeat it that I just focused on titles and extracted the keywords and analyzed the keyword frequency and their relationships. So I was able to identify the clusters of closely related terms which co-occur together, relieving that shows that these have been the popular research themes. But there are limitations of my study so far. It is a study, and these are the interim findings. It's not the final. So the limitations of my study so far are that I only relied on the titles. Keyword plus available with the Web of Science can be a better approach, but I had no paid access to that. Then it is also limitation of my study that I just considered the PubMed for my study, because I could have missed important studies that may be in the Word of Science and some other scientific databases. So this is the limitation of my study, that only relying on one database for a bibliometric analysis is not enough. Ideally there should be 3 databases like the Google Scholar, then Web of Science, and and even uh, there are other choices available depending on your choice. And this is a limitation that is, I would say, has been the limitations of the already published bibliometric studies, that we consider only the the high frequency words and emerging keywords, but we miss those keywords which appeared less frequently, and those who are good in natural language processing technologies can overcome this limitation. For example, in the word cloud, we could see the most frequent terms, but we could not see the terms which are although rare but still important. So this is another limitation that we could not address in this study. The strengths of this analysis is its transparency, focus on original research, and the plots I have shown you, they are based on the sound mathematical and statistical techniques. The future research could benefit by using the literature from Web of Science and Scopus, then consider to include the other dimensions or aspects of the bibliometric analysis. For this study, I just considered the titles and the keywords in the titles, but someone could also be interested to see the prominent authors and their collaborations, the prominent institutions and their consortium. It's a co-citation analysis. So PubMed don't provide us the citations, but Web of Science, it provides the citation analysis, citations, and therefore citation analysis. So I would recommend that if I am epidemiologist, and I'm a pragmatic user of bibliometric analysis, but those who are able to do and apply the artificial intelligence and the text mining experts, they could improve the findings of this study by doing the topic modeling and using lemmatization, which is to this is also I would say a drawback of bibliometrics analysis, that we can stem the words, meaning we can cut the ending of the word, which sometimes become meaningless. So a better approach would be this technique, which is lemmatization, and those who are interested to know about, they can search themselves. So conclusions and recommendations: we conducted bibliometric analysis and identified the cluster. We highlighted the significant role of GIS and remote sensing in improving the disease surveillance and management. The limitations already mentioned have been the misrepresentation from article titles, incomplete coverage from PubMed, exclusion of low frequency word. Future studies should include to identify the limitation of the bibliometric analysis in general, and then bibliometrics package to be very specific. So that was all about. So I would conclude that bibliometric analysis can provide you a glimpse of the research landscape, and the bibliometric package is good one because it is open source, and those who are well versed or know about the R programming, they can customize these plots even better. And yes, I would say that if you look or make a trial to search on PubMed just the term bibliometric analysis, you can find a lot. So it's a good technique, and I would recommend for those who don't, for the researchers who want to publish, to learn it and then apply in their respective fields. But please note it down, like bibliometric analysis should not be confused with the systematic reviews. Both have their own indications, limitations, and then advantages. Thank you all for your time and listening this presentation. Thanks. Thank you very much.